Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. This is the first time I've ever posted, and it's actually as a result of something that's quite near and dear to me. I'm doing a 365-day challenge of not buying any clothes, shoes, jewelry, bags, accessories. I'm actually up to day 35 at the moment, and it's taken me a little while to post just because I wanted to know whether I could really commit to this. I got the inspiration from a few different sources. First and foremost, it was my husband. My husband, Luke, when I met him, didn't have that many clothes, and moving into our little 2-bedroom apartment, I actually had to take up a whole room because of all the clothes, bags, and shoes that I owned, and it's actually quite embarrassing. We're thinking about starting a family very soon, and we've got this 2nd bedroom and it's taken up by all of the stuff that I own. It's actually, came to quite a shock when we moved in together. So yes, my husband Luke's my first inspiration. The second inspiration is listening to a podcast called The Minimalists, and that came as a result of watching a documentary called The Minimalists, and I had those kind of aha moments watching the documentary and listen to a lot of their podcasts. If you haven't already, definitely look at the Minimalist podcast or their documentary. I think it's on Netflix. So yeah, check out the Minimalists. And then my third inspiration was actually on Facebook, taking a look at a page called Upworthy, and they posted last year in 2016 an article about clothing waste and what that does to the global environment, just as a result of how much waste we actually produce in the world, Australia being number 2 after the United States. When that waste actually goes into landfill, some of the chemical dyes and agents actually saturate the ground and can affect the local water sources and can actually contaminate that local water through the ground. The Australian Bureau of Statistics estimates that 500,000 tonnes of leather and textiles were sent to landfill just in 2010. That's in Australia about 23 kilos per person. These types of statistics just absolutely blew my mind. So I thought that, I could start posting to track my, success with this. So I'm on day 35 of 365 days. A couple of kind of things that I wanted to talk about was the fact that in Australia, when we donate things, particularly to things like thrift shops, we want to donate goods. We don't want to donate rubbish because that rubbish can end up in the landfill. We don't want the resources of these thrift shops being spent on disposing our waste for us. So a couple of tips that I want to give you for donating items. Just have a think about, would you donate this item to a friend or family member? Would you buy that item yourself from a thrift shop? Make sure it's clean, undamaged, and it's a good quality item. So something that's not soiled or damaged, or maybe a toy that's not working. Make sure that it's in good working condition. A number 2 step is to donate directly to the shop. Call them directly. Again, we don't want to dump our waste outside. A lot of the resources for those thrift shops will be taken up by them separating good quality clothing and goods to rubbish. And we want them to spend their time helping people. That's, ideally what their job is. Call ahead if needed. You can always call, make a booking, and find out exactly where you're going to locate the kind of donation bin. And then if you do have rubbish, dispose of that rubbish in your own bin. So do that from your own home. You don't have to take your rubbish to those thrift stores. In Australia, we've got a culture of donating, which is quite good. I myself have donated pretty much every year. I know we kind of got into the rhythm of it with my mum. Every kind of 6 months, she's like, okay, we're going to spring clean. So in our house, we all just kind of went through our cupboards, took all the items that we didn't wear that year, donated them. And that is a good thing, but anecdotally, only 15% of those clothings are sold again in those local stores. You know, another 15% actually become rags for industrial places. And then 15 to about 25% goes to landfill, and the other 40 to 50% goes to some secondhand trade. And that usually it gets shipped out to countries like Pakistan and Malaysia for like $1 a kilo. And most of it is buried or burned in those countries. So you got to kind of think to yourself, are we just shipping out our waste instead of dealing with it locally? So if you don't want to donate any of your items that you have, a couple of tips that I've come up with might help, and they've definitely helped me in this 365-day challenge. Only on day 35, it's really, really quite hard. Sell your items, sell. You know, if you want to make some money, there's websites that you can sell through. There's now an app called Carousell, or you can jump onto Facebook, either sell directly to friends and family, or jump onto maybe a buy swap sell group. And Facebook now have Marketplace, which has been quite successful for me. Just posting it up onto Marketplace, you can resell it. You know, sell it for cheap and nasty, but you make a quick buck for that piece of clothing, which is great. Maybe have a garage sale, or take some of your items to your local market. Last year I gave it a shot and went to Glebe markets. It was a terribly rainy day, but it was definitely worthwhile. I was with my best friend. We enjoyed it. We had coffees, caught up, all in the kind of joy of selling our clothing. Rework or update your clothes, DIY. This is something that I never did before. So I've got this, which is a skirt from Zara, and it's got a little split in there. You know, typically I would have just disposed it because that split actually ripped about 1 or 2 inches. And what I did last week when I was at home, I actually just, you know, got a needle and thread and stitched that up. It's quite easy. If you don't know how to do some just, you know, ordinary mending of your clothes, just YouTube it. But I, you know, mended that, and now I'm going to get lots and lots of wears out of that. So if you have maybe an old pair of jeans that you're wanting to dispose, have a think about maybe cutting them, or maybe an iron-on transfer or something to kind of jazz those jeans up and get some rewear out of them. Another tip, friend swaps. You know, start a Facebook page, add all your friends that maybe you same size, and you can swap around your items of clothes, shoes. Maybe a bag swap is good, because I know bags, things like clutches for women, we only maybe use once or twice, and you always want kind of one to go with your outfit. And then you end up kind of stacking up, and I know I've got like 10 to 20 clutches that I never ever use. So yeah, a friend swapping page would be great. And then lastly, buy less. You know, choose well, choose good quality items and make them last. This is something that I'm starting to learn, and I'm going to try and keep posting maybe once a month on this journey. I know it's going to be quite hard. We're going to Europe in July and August. It's going to be really hard not to want to go shopping in, you know, London and Ibiza. We're going to really, it's going to be quite hard for me. But I just need to keep in mind the reason that I'm doing this, and, you know, keep posting, because this is, you know, going to keep my motivation going. And also just keep my focus on, you know, when we were younger, we used to always save up for that really good winter jacket or that great pair of work shoes, those good quality work shoes that we wanted. And we really held that item up high, and we worked towards it because we wanted to invest in that. And it paid off. We loved it. You know, when we went to the store, we paid for it, took it home, and we kind of just, we melted over that item. And I want to keep having that emotional connection with the things that I buy. I don't want to keep buying things frivolously just because I'm bored or I want retail therapy, which is what I convinced myself, because I'm getting myself into a situation where I can't store these items anymore. You know, I don't have a comfortable location to put them in. I'm, you know, the clothes are falling out of my cupboard, and I'm having to kind of do things like garage sales all the time to get rid of this stuff. And I'm not understanding the repercussions of what I'm doing. And I know a lot of young women like myself are buying because of trends and fashion. And I just want to make sure that the industry is not setting these guidelines for me, that I'm making this up myself. You know, I'm determining my destiny. I want to know that I want to have, you know, I want to share wardrobes with my husband when we have kids. So I want to cut down and I want to live life happier and fuller, but fuller with connections and experiences, not necessarily fuller with clothing and things and items. So day 35 of 365 days of not purchasing any clothing, shoes, bags, accessories. My name's Amanda. Thank you so much for listening to my post. Hopefully I've inspired you, and I'm going to try and post maybe once a month on my journey of 365 days. Thank you.